All right, folks, the road to $1 million might not be as tough as you think with the right strategy and resources, but how do you build wealth in a struggling economy? Joining me in studio is Benicia Poole Watson, a leading expert in financial literacy and real estate. Now, Benicia, before we get into building wealth, we know that there's a lot of conversation around it. I want to talk about you first, okay? You served 11 years in the Air Force.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right, now, after your career, obviously you started building wealth and teaching others how to manage real estate and all the good things. Tell me about Prime One Lending. What is that all about? She owns her own bank, y'all. Okay, she owns her own bank. Now, when folks hear me say that, they're like, what does that mean? So explain that to folks.
Absolutely. So Prime One Lending Group, Prime One Home Loans, is a federally chartered bank. It's based right here in this beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. And we serve nationwide, every single city in the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. And what we do is we fund residential and commercial real estate up to $650 million. So that's basically everything you can think of in the space of real estate, whether that's building a home or an investment property, your primary residence, a commercial building, a skyscraper, you name it, we can do it.
Okay, look, the cost of living is going up. Inflation is up. So a lot of folks may be sitting here watching this and we're talking about building wealth. Is there a certain strategy or some tips that you have for folks that they can follow that are simple and easy for us to follow to try to build wealth?
The first key to success is to know exactly what you're getting into. So track information, study the interest rates, Google it a little bit, find out what the world is doing today. If you see big corporations still purchasing real estate, that is a sign that real estate is still moving. Trust me, the market is not dead. The interest rates are not excessive. You can still own a home, you can still buy, you can still get that commercial building. You just have to start with the knowledge.
Where do we start with that knowledge? Where do we find it?
Yeah, so the first step is to hire someone that is an expert. You can start with a real estate professional. A real estate agent should know exactly what's going on in their city and what's happening in the market. If you don't have a professional working for you that can't answer those questions, you might be with the wrong person. So that person should be able to executively give you the information that you need and desire in order to get you to your next step.
I think you just kind of told somebody off real quick.
Hello.
Okay. Look, I read an article on Forbes that says the racial wealth gap hasn't shrunk since MLK's death.
Yes.
While the black middle class, that has been on the uptick.
Yes.
What is the reason, or do you even think this is still the case? What is the reason that you feel like the racial wealth gap hasn't shrunk?
Well, here's the thing. We are in a space where now we have information at the touch of our fingertips, right? You have YouTube, you have people starting to get the big picture. They want to know what's happening in the market and how is this disparity affecting me as a human being and my family and my legacy. We come from people possibly who worked in factories. They didn't have jobs or businesses in abundance like we do now today. I think that is the trajectory that's going to help shift and change where we're going forward as a culture in the market.
And talking about shifting and changing, your company, Prime One Lending, 100% black owned,
Yes.
100% female owned, 100% veteran
Yes.
owned. Okay, I got to say all the things. What are you guys doing specifically to help us close that racial wealth gap?
Wow, it starts with education again. What we lack in our community is access to capital. And the reason why we lack access to capital is because we don't have relationships with banks. We don't have that relationship where we had a legacy of people doing business and now they recognize you, oh, you're coming in, I can give you some service. We need to start and curate that atmosphere. And if you can't do it somewhere else, you can definitely do it at Prime One Lending Group. We're here to serve the culture. We're here to help the people. And it really starts with just taking the time, because a lot of people get the door closed on them that apply for loans and they don't know why they were denied. They have no information.
Yeah.
If you know where to begin, you know where to end. And so it starts with just coming somewhere where you are being served as a human being and not just a number.
Yeah, banking below 30. I'm sure a lot of folks that are viewers of WFAA know exactly what that's about.
Yes.
Tell us where we can find information, because if we're going to tell folks about building relationships and building relationships with banks, we need to know where to find you and where to find Prime One Lending. So where can we get those details?
Yes, so it's simple, primeonehomeloans.com. Prime One, you can spell out the number 1, homeloans.com. Prime1lendinggroup.com will take you to the same place.
Okay. Benicia
Thank
Poole
you.
Watson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Great
you.
information, great knowledge. You guys know what she said. You heard what she said. Start with the knowledge and the
Yes.
information.